those of you that are Jackson native, Dad Junior, you might have known my dad. And I've been married to Mary, who's the oldest daughter. I call her Mary. Her family calls her Frances. Everybody else locally calls her Mary Frances. But it's the same person. We've been married for more than 50 years. I was 9. So while I'm not a from scratch member of the family, I've kind of become one. Everyone here has rich stories and memories that they can tell firsthand about deep and the various aspects of his life. And I hope you will all share those stories with each other. Help keep the memories of this extraordinary man fresh and vivid. And I will leave the specific reminiscence to all of you and instead speak to the character of the man I came to know and love over the past half-century. Deep's life followed a convoluted set of circumstances that began in a little village in Italy. He came to the United States in the 1920s through Ellis Island. Childhood in Paterson, New Jersey. During the Depression years, he was into the CCCs where they built trails and dams all over the United States, many of which still exist today. Later to the Marine Corps, and I remember he once told me he had 2 career choices. He could join the Marines or he could join the Mafia. He chose to join the Marines. After he joined the Marines, he eventually ended up in Okinawa in the Battle of Sugarloaf Hill in World War II. And after the war, he was one of the lucky few that got to stay in another year and go to China. He was a China Marine. His path continued to North Carolina, where he had previously met and married his beloved wife, Jody, which resulted in Mary and Vivian and Angelo. On leaving the Marine Corps after the war and taking a number of jobs, he eventually became a firefighter. And he was as proud of the title firefighter as anybody. He stayed a firefighter for the rest of his professional life, retiring as the fire chief at Camp Lejeune. And to me, it's notable that of all the experience that shaped his life, excluding his close family ties, his time in the military during World War II, and his profession as a firefighter stand out as the most prominent. Both involved serving a greater good and a willingness to sacrifice personally for the well-being of others. He only began talking about his war experiences in the past 10 years or so. And after he started talking, he talked. And he talked. But once he started talking, it was only then that we could understand the significant impact that those experiences had on this particular humble man. I can't speak of his family life and the experiences with his wife and children as they grew. I wasn't there, and I'll have to leave those recollections to his children. I do know that his lifelong vocation of fishing developed during this period of time, and as we all know, fishing became second, only by a small margin, to breathing. When he was in session at the end of the Jolly Roger Pier, he was the authority, an acknowledgement that he earned both by his expertise and by his results. Greater than 500 game fish landed over the course of his experience. He was also a counselor, an instructor, and a non-judgmental and accepting friend to all he came in contact with, sharing generously in his knowledge and experience to those that were interested. He was a mentor to his contemporaries, to their children, and to their children's children. He was a multi-generational good guy. He was known to enjoy a beer, specifically Budweiser. And on occasion, that would involve in the dancing, swing music preferred, but he would make do. with other types when it was absolutely necessary. And this scenario actually played out on a regular basis, even up to about a year or so ago. Baseball was a spectator sport. He was a longtime Yankee fan that later became passionate for the Atlanta Braves. Much more can be said about this extraordinary man. Deke was a humble man, honest to a fault, with the highest level of integrity, deeply felt morals, and a strong sense of patriotism and love of country. His service to others and the adherence to his values and principles were unwavering, and they were constant in his life. Whether you knew him as Dad, Grandpa, Deke, Chief, Sergeant, Ace, Pops, or Peer King, we can all agree that the world is a lesser place with him gone, but we are better people for having known him. We will miss him.